Nobody has time to wait for operators. You need local security, and Panhandle Alarm has been that option for over 40 years. Panhandle Alarm installs proven equipment, which virtually eliminates false alarms. Their 24-hour call service is local with over 50 professional trained employees. When it comes to feeling secure, isn't it nice to know that a neighbor has your back? Give them a call today at 478-2108 and keep your family and business safe with Panhandle Alarm.
Your voice, your vote. In our democracy, they matter and make our community and our country stronger. So make yours count. Get registered. Learn the issues. Know the candidates. And vote by or on November 3rd. Visit vote411.org for registration and election information. This message is furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
The following has been produced by Talk Football LLC. Former Florida Gators quarterback, NFL quarterback, and NFL head coach. Coach K. Stevenson has a resume second to none, and now he's sharing his insider information with you. Talk Football with Coach K starts right now on ESPN Pensacola.
Welcome in to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL head coach K. Stevenson on this Tuesday afternoon. Appreciate you guys joining us here on the show as always. A lot to get to. For a lot of fans in our area, a lot of disappointment last night. We will get to that, I promise you. Unfortunately, you may not want us to get to that, but we're going to talk about it. Look, with everything going on, obviously, with Hurricane Sally, we hope you're doing well. We appreciate you tuning in to us. Hopefully, things are starting to get back to normal. I know it seems that the majority, pretty much almost everybody, has their power back. That's awesome. For those that lost more, our thoughts and prayers are out to everybody. We've all been through it before. We all understand how devastating it can be. I'm blessed. I'm blessed that my family's okay and my home's okay. So that's all I can ask for. The biggest thing, obviously, with my family. But, hey, look, as we always start off the show, we'll continue to do it this way. And it goes, look, these folks did a great job. By the way, before I do mention our healthcare and our first responders, how about we give it up to the linemen? Yeah, Gulf Power, all those folks, the contractors that come in from out of state. If you're one of those folks and you're listening to us, I met a couple of them at the gas station yesterday, and they were like, hey, the ESPN station, is that, just talking about it. And I was like, yeah, that's where I work over there. It's cool. They're like, oh, it's awesome that you guys have a station like that. Wherever they were from up north, they didn't have one. So, hey, that's good news. We appreciate you guys tuning in to us. And I don't know if they're headed back home or whatever it is, but that's awesome. So for those folks out there, we thank them for their hard work and everything they do. But also, first responders and healthcare workers, once again, whether it's COVID-19, Hurricane Sally, or just their everyday business, they're going about their jobs, we thank them so much because they have really stepped up. And once again, through the hurricane, they stepped up as well. We thank you guys for what you do. I know there's a lot of unrest in our country. We've talked about that before. But we love all of our law enforcement. We love all of our firefighters, EMT, nurses, doctors, all you guys. We appreciate you so much for what you do. Just want to make that very clear out there. You guys have really stepped up, as well as our community. Everybody has done a great job in a, devastating time for some. Some it's better, but hey, it is what it is. As well as grocery store employees, truck drivers, all the essential workers out there, we thank you guys so much. especially grocery store workers. I know, obviously, with COVID, it's tough enough. Then the hurricane coming in, you guys really stepped up as well as obviously organizations that have delivered food, water, and everything like that. We appreciate all you guys. Like I said, trying to get through this as fast as I can because I know people want to talk about football. They don't want to talk about the devastation. But just want to throw that out there. We appreciate all you guys so much. First things first, Coach, how are you doing today, my friend?
Doing well. Good to be with you, JP. And as always, I second the thanks that you send out to those people that you've named. And I won't name them all again, but gosh, like we said before, we could spend the entire hour talking about what they do and how much we owe them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was starting to do, and I had to stop myself, Coach. You know how I feel about all that. But, hey, by the way, I've been in touch with it. Our Pick'em contest for the NFL and college football, our Talk Football Pick'em contest right there. Been in touch with our winners, so they're going to be able to come by and pick up their prize at the time that we had talked about yesterday, tomorrow. But, hey, nonetheless, we're going to be doing that contest every week, so be looking for it on our ESPN Pensacola Facebook page. I'm actually going to start posting it on Tuesday afternoon, so keep an eye out for that. Share it with your friends. Hey, it's free. You just go on there. Go send your picks to 850-623-1330 for the games that I have chosen, and do it that way. It's like I said, it does nothing but just takes a minute of your time, and we all enjoy being able to do free stuff to possibly win prizes. So once you get it, the rules are all going to be on our Facebook page. The games will be on our Facebook page. It's two separate contests, our college and our NFL. They're going to be up there this afternoon. So go ahead and be looking out for it here coming up soon. Coach, look, obviously last night, well, not the way that Saints fans wanted things to go. Now, when you look at the Saints last night, Michael Thomas being out, I think for a lot of reasons, and I know that Drew Brees has taken some criticism, and he missed some opportunities. That's for sure. We can't get away from that. But it showed kind of how big Michael Thomas is to this offense. He's a different dynamic. Now, the Saints weren't terrible, but they weren't the Saints that we had seen. And what I mean by that is Michael Thomas is a dynamic receiver. No matter if he is making catches or not, he is making a difference out there. He's getting, the number one corner on him, whatever it is. Emmanuel Sanders we saw last night is not that guy. He is not going to be the number one. He's not going to be able to fill in for Michael Thomas, and that's not a knock on him. That's just not who he is. He's just not an elite receiver. He wasn't brought in to be an elite receiver. He was brought in to help Michael Thomas a little bit. But, Coach, when you look at the Raiders, I'll tell you what, hats off. I hate that the Saints lost because I love Drew Brees. I love that squad. I got a lot of friends that are Saints fans that are upset, obviously. But I'm extremely happy for Derek Carr. And the reason is, folks, before you come throwing tomatoes my way, Derek Carr has taken so much criticism for so long where the guy just goes out and just plays. He's not fantastic. He's not going to wow you with stats. He's a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's an elite quarterback, but a 70% completion percentage. He doesn't throw that very many interceptions. He takes care of the football. Think about that. Well, it was Oakland. Now it's Las Vegas Raiders offense. They haven't been dynamic because outside of Josh Jacobs, there's been nobody there that you look at and go, wow, maybe Darren Waller. Finally, Darren Waller puts himself on the map at tight end, and he is a special one. I think he proved that last night. But Derek Carr going 28 of 38 for 282 yards and 3 touchdowns. Coach, I'm happy for Derek Carr just to finally be able to get that big win on the big stage and get some respect that he finally deserves, because even his coaching staff wasn't giving him respect, talking about how great Marcus Mariota was looking and the possibility of Marcus Mariota starting week 1 before he got hurt. But, Coach, look, Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, that Raiders team, they just looked fantastic last night.
Well, they did. It was a very, very promising night for the Raiders, no doubt about that. Now, obviously, there's a long way to go. We don't want to jump on that bandwagon too early.
No.
But I agree. I think they looked awfully well. And I agree, too, that I feel good for Carr because he has been, if any quarterback has been disrespected by not only the press and the public, but his own coach. Has not given him I don't think the tribute that he should have given. He's played pretty tough football. But anyway, he played well last night. It was a big win for him. I feel bad for the Saints. I've got a lot of thoughts about the Saints. I think one thing this weekend kind of pointed out is without that number one receiver, that guy that you can go to I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. When you got the number one out, it makes it a different ball game offensively. It's not only the confidence and the intangibles that we're talking about there, but the rhythm of the passing game is tremendously disturbed. Look at the two examples, two great examples we get from this weekend. With the loss of the number one receiver for Drew Brees in New Orleans and Hopkins for Houston, made it a difficult situation. But anyway, I think New Orleans has a ways to go. They're not. We can use the old cliche. They're not clicking, and that's probably about as good as you can use. Clicking meaning there's so many different aspects to it, not just the quarterback, but the receivers, the offensive line, the whole bit. So, we've got to look to the future, and I think anytime you've got a Drew Brees, you're going to come back, and they will come back, and they will be a good football team.
Yeah, I think a lot of people obviously jumping on the train of Drew Brees, saying, well, see, age is now getting him. I'm not going to buy that right now. Drew Brees, look, he's one of the greatest, and he can go out there and obviously turn this around on a dime. I don't know what, last night, I agree with you. I think Michael Thomas was a big deal. I mean, you just saw how important he is to that offense, and I think it's as simple as that. Now, they do have a lot of problems that they gotta shore up, but one thing I will say, it's very important. That Week 1 win was truly, truly important for them to be able to stay in this race, obviously, because this team could very well be 0-2. Remember, Tom Brady and Tampa Bay, even though they lost, they're getting better. They're starting to find some chemistry moving forward. That's going to take some time to be able to play at this level with Tom Brady. And you know that Tom Brady and those guys, there's just too many weapons out there. I mean, if this was Tom Brady with the Pats, with a new team, with like what the Pats have now, I would be like, okay, this is going to be a while. But there's just too many weapons, and they're going through some injury problems as well. But they're going to be fine. For the Saints, I think it was important. But remember, even in that win with Tampa, the Saints just did not look very good. They're out of sync. So we'll find out what's going on. But nonetheless, Saints fans, hang on. It's still the Saints. It's still a very talented roster. I know Marcus Davenport was out last night. I know that didn't help at all. But they're going to be okay. But, Coach, I want to ask you real quick before we move on from this game. John Gruden there at the end, the field goal call, with obviously about 30-something second or a minute left, whatever it was. A lot of people would have punted it away. A lot of people thought they were going to punt it away. But instead, he brought out his kicker, Daniel Carlson. A lot of people know Daniel Carlson around here. For the long field goal. I mean, it just exuded confidence, and he nailed it. And, boy, it looked like he could have made it from 65 yards with the way he kicked it. But did you think at that time, now I think, because I'll be honest with you, I was kind of against that call because they could have forced New Orleans to drive the field, which didn't seem like New Orleans could do at that time. But I love the call after it's all said and done. Is that the call you would have made, or would you have punted that football?
No, that's the call I would have made. You got to win. You need to win that ball game, and in order to ensure a win, you got to kick the field goal. Now you can, the flip side is you could give them a heck of an advantage to go down and score on you as well. Understand that. But listen, you spend so much time with your special teams coach and that kicker, but he and the kicker, that you can bet out there before the ball game, they went over totally, or how long field goal he felt comfortable with, and he obviously felt comfortable with that distance. The head coach knew it, the coordinators knew it, and when it came time to make that decision, and I'm sure that the head coach had informed people that we get within a certain distance of the goal post, and we're gonna make that call. We're gonna kick the field goal. So he made the call, and he made the call to go win it. That's a typical decision that had it gone the other way, people would be all over Gruden for that call. But It didn't. It went in his favor, and I would have made that call to kick the field goal at that point if I had the advanced knowledge that I wouldn't have sitting here in Gulf Breeze, Florida. But I would have had if I were head coach of that football team going into that ball game. I would know exactly where I was going to try it from and where I would not try it from.
That's a great point. And I tell you what, genius right there, because Daniel Carlson was ready. You saw him taking the field. Just the confidence he exuded in his kicker there in his special teams unit. It worked out for him. And you're right. If he misses that, then the media jumps all over him. Hey, you know what? Hats off, because that's a big win for that Raiders squad. I'm with you, Coach. I'm not buying into him yet, but it's still a big win on a big stage there for them to kind of make their statement. But a couple things before we go to break here, Coach. Obviously, Nick Bosa and Solomon Thomas for the 49ers are both out for the season. Saquon Barkley for the Giants is out for the season. Christian McCaffrey is out 4 to 6 weeks. And Drew Lock's going to be out for a few weeks, obviously. Now it seems that Blake Bortles will be signing with the Broncos there. Just a couple updates. Obviously, there was a ton of injuries this past week. But, Coach, I do want to mention real quick, now with the Big Ten coming back, this is maybe the Big Ten schedule. They took care of their people. Look, Clemson, you can talk about Clemson's soft schedule, whatever it is. But the Big Ten's or the Ohio State schedule is not too tough, even though I think Ohio State's a really good football team. It doesn't really matter who you put in front of them at this point. Is this Ohio State's to lose in the Big Ten? I mean, can we just kind of – I know we should never assume, but looking at it from the outside with the way that the Big Ten looks right now, Michigan's going to be down a little bit. They're still figuring out. Their quarterback that everybody thought was going to win the job is obviously going to transfer out. Wisconsin's going to be a good football team, but how's it going to look? Penn State, everybody's always so hyped on Penn State, but they always seem to flounder a little bit there. Is this Ohio State's to lose in the Big Ten, Coach?
I think from everything we've heard, not only their talent level, but their depth and experience, you would have to think, JP, that they're the odds-on favorite to win it. Now, Penn State could be a factor, even though I don't think Penn State plays big in big ball games, but that's my opinion. But they could be a factor. They're a talented group. Don't ever count Wisconsin out. They're big, strong, get after you, and if they're on their game defensively, they could give anybody in the country trouble. I don't think they have enough offense to really compete with anybody that can score. But you have to score on them, and they do rush the football, and they do keep it. I don't have a feeling for Michigan, to be honest with you. But I would say that based on what we know about the Big Ten, that, yes, Ohio State should be the odds-on favorite, no question about it.
And one thing to keep in mind, obviously, with this COVID season in 2020 here, for the Big Ten, if you come down with COVID, I believe it's 21 days you're out. That's 3 weeks. So depending on who gets it, you can bet that teams are going to be protecting these guys left and right, because that is quite the protocol. Look, anybody that wants to be careful, that's fine. I think for the players, they realize, so we better be extra careful. Even on your, whoever you're playing, it doesn't matter. If you get it, you could be out for 3 weeks, and that could be devastating, especially you're talking about toward the end of the season, and for some teams that don't have the depth that others do. So just think about that for a minute. It's going to be wild. So anything can happen. I mean, you're saying, you hope nobody gets it, but if a Ohio State big star player gets it, it can be a difference maker, especially if you roll into town with a Wisconsin or somebody like that. But it's going to be interesting nonetheless. But, hey, Big Ten is coming back. It seems that I think the Mountain West has talked about coming back in late October. So teams are starting to realize they can play, I think, and that's a part of the other teams that have been playing, the group of fives and some of the Power Fives that have played so far in the ACC and Big 12. And, look, some games have been postponed. Some games have been canceled. That's a part of it. That's just the way it is in 2020. But it is proven that you can go out there and play football. So we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the NFL Power Rankings. After a wild couple weeks in the NFL, we're going to break it down for you. And the team that's number one, we'll compare a couple of the other power rankings, but the team that's number one may surprise you, and the Saints may actually surprise you where they're located in some of the brackets as well. All that and more coming back right here on Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Highway 29 in Car City.
Fall is a season that's a little in the middle. It's sort of the best of two seasons. It's no longer a sweaty summer, but the winter chill is still around the corner. And that's the perfect time to feed and seed your lawn with Scott's Turf Builder. Even better than spring, because the soil is still warm, but the air is getting cool. So your lawn gets the most nutrients in the best combination of temperatures. Feed and seed now with Scott's Turf Builder and build the best lawn for every season. Scott's, it's good out here.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM is accepting applications for employment. Periodically, we have openings in sales, business, news, promotions, engineering, production, and programming. We'll keep your application for consideration when such an opening occurs. We also provide internships for qualified students. Apply online at ESPNpensacola.com or at our studios at 7251 Plantation Road behind University Town Plaza. ADX Communications is an equal opportunity employer.
Chad Berliante here, taking a look at the AP Top 25 in college football going into Week 3. Clemson remains number 1 after a 37-13 win over Wake Forest. Number 2, Alabama travels to Missouri in 2 weeks. Oklahoma 3 after the victory over Missouri State. Georgia and Florida 4-5. Notre Dame's first ACC win puts them at number 7, with Auburn 8, Texas 9, and Texas A&M 10. After an upset win over Iowa State, Louisiana Lafayette is number 19, with Army at 2-0, 22, and some love for App State at 23.
Hey, this is Jay Williams. You're listening to Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL head coach Kay Stevenson on this Tuesday afternoon. Appreciate you guys tuning in with us. Hopefully you're doing well, getting back to normal, whatever that means, especially in 2020. But we appreciate you guys once again for tuning into the show with us. Jumping back into this, Coach, the NFL Power Rankings. It's been quite a couple weeks here in the NFL. Now, we're happy it's back. We're happy college football, obviously with the SEC, is coming back this week. It's been fun to watch some college football. I don't care who's playing at this point. Football is football to me. But Coach, number 1. Now I've got Sports Illustrated and I've got CBS here sports for their power rankings. I've got a ton of them. Just trying to go through and cover all this because I like to get everybody's take. Now, Coach, in Sports Illustrated, Seattle Seahawks are number 1 on their power rankings. Of course, taking down New England 35-30 on that big goal line stand, taking down Cam Newton. At CBS, they have the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, hey, look, the win against the Chargers wasn't pretty, Coach, but I tell you what, a win is a win. Like, it's one thing you said, winning breeds success there in the NFL. It's extremely hard to win in the NFL. People need to understand that. I know you understand that as a player, a former player and coach in the NFL. But, Coach, when you hear the Seahawks or the Chiefs, would they be number 1 in your power rankings?
Interchangeable, but I don't think you could go wrong naming either one. And, in fact, this is we'll kind of rush through this because it's really superfluous as to how they have them rated this time of year. It is interesting to know how they're stacking them up and how the press is reacting to it. Everybody is interested in that. But anyway, no, they're interchangeable, I think.
Number 2 for the CBS Sports is the Packers. Now, I tell you what, the Packers look good, but in Sports Illustrated, number 2 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Coach, what are your thoughts on the Packers at number 2?
I like the Packers. I really do. I like what they're doing, even though I don't think they have an appropriate receiving combination for Rodgers. But he is amazing. I will have to give him everything he's due, and that's quite a bit. So yeah, I like them. They're right up there with those top 3 that you mentioned. Are almost all interchangeable.
And number 3 here, both of them, and Sports Illustrated and CBS, Coach, have the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Ravens are going to get their opportunity this week. We'll find out. Look, it's a good football team. The defense is really good. The defense looks really good. Offenses look good so far. But they're going to play the Chiefs. So, Coach, both of them have number 3, the Ravens. Are you buying the Ravens at this point?
I think they would be 4 for me. Yeah, I think you got to put them up there because of what they've done. We will see. I think you made a very good point, JP. We'll see them against a very good football team this week. So that should be interesting. But it'll be more validating if we see how they rank them next week.
Number 4, Sports Illustrated has the Buffalo Bills at 2-0. Now, they took down, obviously, the Miami. This week they've got the L.A. Rams, which would be a good matchup. The Rams look really good, so that'll be a pretty good one for them. The Steelers on CBS has the Steelers number 4. Now, look, the Steelers are a different team. Obviously, that defense is good, but Big Ben's back. So, Coach, at number 4, I mean, you like the Bills or the Steelers?
Well, I'm very impressed with both, to be honest with you. Very shocked, to be honest with you, at how they performed. The Bills performed with the passing game last week. So, having said that, I think they're still. I don't think that they're have gained that much stature with the upper echelon. So, I think they'd be down just a little bit. But I have no problem with where they're going with this.
Of course, you're talking about number 5 here. The Sports Illustrated has the Packers. We've already mentioned them. And CBS has the Bills. So I'm going to move on to 6. 6 now, CBS has the Seahawks all the way down at 6, where Sports Illustrated has the New Orleans Saints. They're still buying them, Coach. They're still buying them right there at 1-1. Number 6 in their power rankings. Have them ahead of the Cardinals and teams like that. What are your thoughts on that, Coach?
Well, right now, just based on the first 2 weeks, you can't put the Saints that high. There are other teams that are playing better football right now, so you can't put them in there that high. They may well be there or better midway through the season, but not now.
Number 7, both of them have the Arizona Cardinals. I'll tell you what, Coach, I know we talked a little bit about them yesterday. What a feel-good story so far. That DeAndre Hopkins trade is just fitting perfectly. Isaiah Simmons on defense is making some plays for him. He really changes the dynamic of that defense. They're starting to play a little defense. It's not something we said last year, is they were one of the worst defenses in the league. But Kyler Murray, how about that? The progression he's made so far. I know it's still early, but he has done a great job, especially working his way through that offense. And Cliff Kingsbury and his squad look pretty good, but they're at number 7, Coach, which is that where you would put them?
Oh, I don't know if I put them in the top 10, but they are impressive, and I can't argue with anything that would put them there in that position. And you see what the difference in Hopkins being absent from Houston now and being at Phoenix. What a difference that receiver position has made to both football teams. So, not that he's the end-all be-all, I'm not saying that. But he certainly is a major contributor. One team has lost and the other's gained. So we can move on. I think you just got to I think the Cardinals are a good football team, and they're certainly a concern for anybody who has to play them.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. Number 8, Coach. Now, Sports Illustrated has the Steelers. We've already talked about them. But CBS has the Rams. Now, that's a team we look at. Look, this Rams team, we mentioned it yesterday. This looks like the year before Rams team with Jared Goff having a good season. That offensive line looks good. The defense is playing off of how good the offense is playing. Sean McVay has these guys rolling right now. Coach, what are your thoughts on the Rams?
Yeah, I like the Rams. We're going to know a heck of a lot more this week after playing the Bills. It's a good matchup. Got some good matchups coming up this week, and we'll know a heck of a lot more after they play Buffalo. But I like them. I like them a lot.
Now, for Sports Illustrated, number 9, they have the New England Patriots at 1-1 right there. Obviously, they gave Seattle all they wanted and more right there, but couldn't come up with the win. And then CBS has the Tennessee Titans. Hey, look, the Titans haven't really played great yet. I'll admit that as a Titans fan, but they're 2-0. Ryan Tannehill had a good day. They're finding ways to win. Now, the defense, they had a little problems. Hey, it is what it is. With Gardner Minshew, they played really well. But no matter what, Coach, like you said before, you just got to win, and they're 2-0 right now. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I like the Titans. I think they have to be in the top 10. I really do. I think they're fortunate to be 2-0 right now, but this is huge for them to be 2-0. And listen, when they had to win, defense had to win the first game. Offensively, they had to do enough to win the second game. And they just they had a collapse in the secondary in this last ball game. They really did not play well in the secondary. And they're playing well up front now. There's no doubt about that in the front seven. But, no, I got to put the Titans in the top 10. I think they're a legitimate contender.
Well, I like hearing that too as well, Coach. No, it's playing in the NFL, I've never been a coach, I've never been a player. I'm not going to act like that. You have. But one thing I've learned from you, Coach, is it's so hard each week. Just because you have a better roster, you're supposed to win doesn't mean that's not how it works in the NFL. It's not like high school sometimes where you just go out there and just outman people. These are grown men against other grown men. But, Coach, looking at it here, number 10, now CBS has the Raiders. John Gruden and those guys. After their big win last night, there's some hope. Now, Sports Illustrated has the Rams. I know we've already talked about the Rams. Coach, watching last night and looking at that Raiders team, are you ready to put them in the top 10?
No, not the top 10. Not yet. I don't consider them to be a top 10 contender even after the first 2 weeks. And I know, it's a little confusing as to whether we're talking about relating back to last year or what we see as a composite rating right now for a football team, or whether we're just talking about the first 2 weeks. I think somewhere in there you have to use a little common sense and say that I don't think the Raiders have proven to be a legit competitor. I think there's some other teams that would be, you'd have to say, are better football teams than the Raiders. I would not put them there.
Yeah, the one thing you have to say with the Raiders, too, and we just talked about it, I say it, so I don't want to contradict myself here, but, winning is winning. I mean, they've done a great job, but when you look at the eye test and what they have on the field, how they've been playing, they've kind of squeaked by a little bit. Now, it was a good win against the Saints, but Saints weren't at full power, but they also played the Carolina Panthers and could have easily lost that game, and we're kind of seeing that the Panthers just aren't a very good ball team right now. So, hey, it is what it is, but no matter what, they're 2-0, so they could care less about what we think. But, Coach, going to skip down. 11 and 12 are teams we've already mentioned here. 13, they both have at number 13 the Tampa Bay Bucks. Now, obviously, week 1 losing to the Saints, coming back last week, playing a little bit better. They're starting to figure. You see them starting to get on the same page. Now they haven't fully been healthy. They haven't all been on the field yet. Gronk has been a non-factor, which is not a surprise to us. We kind of figured that's how it was going to be to start off with. But last week, I will say this: the defense getting 5 sacks. That defense is going to get better playing with that offense, Coach. The Bucks, though, at number 13, is that where you'd have them at this point?
No, I have to put some common sense involved in this. I think when I look at this football team, I see a football team that is going to be a major competitor. Okay, so they're really one of the top 4 or 5 football teams in the league. No doubt in my mind about that. Now, right now it's 2 weeks. Do you put them down there? It's hard if you base it on 2 weeks. to put them up there where I think they're going to end up, what they look like to me overall. But still, I have to look at the whole picture, and I just don't see Tampa Bay rated that low. I really don't. There's too much they've got going for it. And if a big word, so I hate to use it, but if they had had a complete off season, including the preseason with a couple of games, at least a couple of preseason games, and a true camp to get ready, they would have been light years ahead of where they are right now. So they're going to have to use the season. You hit that on the head. They're going to have to use season games to get themselves into a position to become a legitimate contender. I predict they will certainly do that.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. That's where, when you look at the Saints, it looks like they're kind of backtracking a little bit, and the Bucs are moving forward. So that's why I said it was important for the Saints to get that Week 1 win to stay in contention there, because this could be a tough season for them, especially if they get bit by the injury bug with guys like Michael Thomas again or whoever. I know there's people now that want to talk about Jameis Winston. Pump the brakes, okay? This is the guy that threw 30 interceptions last year, all right? So that's all I'm going to say on that. But Coach, number 14 here. Now, CBS has the Dallas Cowboys, where SI has the Chicago Bears. Now, the Chicago Bears are 2-0. They obviously squeaked by against the Giants. Trubisky has, he's played okay. The first game, everybody was talking about pulling him until that fourth quarter. He came back and threw three touchdown passes, and they won the football game. No matter what, Chicago is 2-0. That's the important thing here, and they're moving forward with that good defense. But the bigger question here, the Cowboys, thanks to the debacle of the Falcons there, they were going to be 0-2, it was looking like, for quite some time, but they're 1-1 and salvaged that, because I'm not going to say it had been doomed, but in that division, who knows what the heck's going to happen. But, Coach, the Bears and the Cowboys, what are your thoughts?
It's hard to choose between them right now. I think I'd have to say the Cowboys may be better suited for the long run, certainly because of the division that they're in. And the Bears have played well. They've been very fortunate. I dropped the pass in the first game, and they've been fortunate. But give credit, they played well, and Trubisky has gotten a little better and a little better. So I got to give them credit. But there are other teams out there. Like overall, even with the injuries, I'm not so sure the 49ers would be rated ahead. But anyway, we're not too far off to have those teams rated there. They're interchangeable, those two.
Yeah, when you get to this point, it's pretty close until you get to the bottom maybe. But, Coach, number 15 is the L.A. Chargers. Now, Tyrod Taylor was out. Justin Herbert steps in immediately, didn't know he was going to play until last minute. Did a pretty darn good job going tit for tat there with Patrick Mahomes, and, in fact, looked better in a lot of places. But, hey, I think this team looks really good with Justin Herbert at quarterback, because they need somebody that can throw the football down the field. And like I said yesterday, there were 5 or 6 throws in that game that Tyrod wouldn't even have thought about trying to attempt, with Justin Herbert opening up with that big arm he has. So, Coach, what are your thoughts on the Chargers, and do you think they look better with Justin Herbert at quarterback?
Oh, I do. I think I was surprised, to be honest with you, that Herbert would step in and do the job that he did. I'm extremely impressed with him. I think you hit it on the head that they are better with him in the ball game because of his passing skills. And he's another good example. Look behind the scenes a little bit. Here's another good example of a young man who could have come out 2 years ago and been maybe the top draft pick in the draft, ahead of Mayfield and others. But he didn't. He stayed in school and took his every bit of eligibility that he had, and it's helped him to keep that experience going in college. And the experience now has helped him coming into the National Football League. So that's my opinion. But he's awfully impressive, and I think the Chargers are lucky to have him. He could end up being one of the better. He and Joe Burrow, both very, very impressive.
Coach, I do want to go down the list here, get a couple of these teams I know that people want to know about as well. At 17, they have the Indianapolis Colts. Now they bounce back, obviously losing from to the Jaguars. And we saw the Jaguars gave the Titans all they wanted and more right there. But I tell you what, Phillip Rivers looked good. I think, obviously, this defense, they're playing better. I think this is a good-looking team here, Coach. What are your thoughts so far in the first couple weeks of the Colts?
Well, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I think the Colts will be a contender in the National Football League this year. They'll be up there in that upper echelon of teams. Now, it's hard to say that after the first 2 weeks, but they, like Tampa, are having to use these games as preseason games to improve. So, anyway, I like the Colts very much.
The Atlanta Falcons, Coach, obviously with what happened there, now 0-2, it seems like this could be the end for Dan Quinn and some other staff members there in Atlanta. Is there any? And I don't want it to sound like doom here for Atlanta, but Coach, the defense has got to get better. The offense actually looks pretty well. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and those guys just continue to perform. Offensively, it's not really the problem. It seems like there's maybe more coaching going on that is the problem here. But Coach, is there any hope for the Falcons to salvage this so far?
Yeah, there's hope. There certainly is. Listen, they're so potent offensively. They could give anybody problems. Their problem is, and we've talked about this even before the season started, their problem is defense. Therein lies the major problem for Dan Quinn. And I hate that he's in trouble. I think he's a good guy and a good football coach. But they've been unable to solidify that defense with any number of fixes. But he's been there enough years now. They should be drastically improved defensively, at least somewhat improved, and they're not. Well, you can score like that offensively. But then the problem is you can't put it away. That becomes a problem. There were some bad decisions in that game as well. And, of course, one of the big debacles you'll ever see was that onside kick when they didn't jump on it. So you put all that together, no defense, a couple of decisions, including the onside kick, and you've got some serious problems there when it comes to making a determination about the coach. I hope he can stay on, and look out if they play offensively. They're going to be tough to contain.
And the final team here, the reason I bring this up, I know we have a ton of people that are Eagles fans around here. Anytime you go to the tailgate shows or whatever, they're always out and about. But at 0-2, Coach, the Philadelphia Eagles, look here, this is my thing I'll say about this. That division is wide open once again, especially when you're talking about the Cowboys at 1-1. Anything can happen. A lot of people wanting to write off Carson Wentz. But, Coach, when you look at this Eagles squad, do you still look at them as competing in that division?
I do. I do. Where are the Dallas Cowboys? Do they look like a team that's just going to run shot through the whole division? No. Certainly Washington's not going to do it. The Giants aren't going to do it. So, yeah, they're 0-2. But and it's tough. But they're going to be back in it. Now, they've got to shore some things up on that football team. I sense, just hearing some of the flack that's out and about with the press, I sense that there could be some intangibles involved here, a few little personality problems, and they certainly can't get over. They can't get over the injury bug. It's hurt them, and whether that's taking too much of a toll, I don't know. I'm not going to take too much time. We could spend 20 minutes talking about the Eagles, but I think they're a good football team overall, and I think they'll respond and come back.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine. And look, we could talk about a team that is 8-8, once again winning this division. I think it doesn't matter. Just make it to the playoffs. And with all the injuries that the Eagles are continuing to go through, the way I look at it is the Cowboys have been healthy and they've struggled a little bit. The Eagles have lost so much, and they just got to find a way to fight through it and be able to get healthy. But, hey, it is what it is, but that's our power rankings for right now, Coach. Obviously, they'll change each and every week, especially as crazy as this NFL season has been. But when we come back, going to talk about, some quarterbacks being named the starter in the SEC. No real surprise, I guess, unless you were hoping for that dark horse quarterback candidate for your team. We'll talk about that and more, especially we'll give you an update on our high school football season coming up this week in Escambia County. When we come back right here on Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
Sometimes your bank, your family, and your friends love you, but they don't have the money to help you. Sometimes we have chances to make money, but the old saying, you've got to have money to make money, rings true. At Pensacola Specialty Pond, we can help. If you have trucks, heavy equipment, airplanes, boats, jet skis, anything with value, Pensacola Specialty Pond can loan you that short-term money you need. No credit checks, and at Pensacola Specialty Pond, you're going to find the money and the discretion you need.
Now at 6428 Pensacola Boulevard, north of Car City. Call 432-9050, 432-9050.
Hi, my name's Bob. Hi, Bob. I see this ad on TV. Says I can reduce my debt by 50%. I call, they told me to stop paying my bills, stop talking to my creditors. They'd take care of everything.
I gave them thousands, but most of it went to their fees.
Getting out of debt is neither quick nor easy. There are those who will tell you anything to win your trust.
I'm more in debt now because the fees and interest on my cards kept piling up.
Talk to your creditors directly, or to find a nonprofit agency near you, visit debtadvice.org. This has been a public service message.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh! Dilly dilly! Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
Modern modernization today has the products you need to modernize your workplace, like the Office DJ.
Let his fatigue-shattering beats fill every corner of your office with productive vibes.
At CDW, we get an Office DJ won't modernize productivity. You need secure, manageable, and reliable Dell Latitude laptops built to help your workforce stay productive from anywhere. Dell and IT Orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Dell Client.
I am Disinfector.
What's with him?
I told him flu shots gave us a superpower against germs.
CVS is your one-stop shop for immunity support, from hand wipes to vitamins that are third-party tested to confirm they meet our high standards.
Take that, germs!
Plus, get a $5 off $20 shopping pass when you get a free flu shot. Visit CVS today. No-cost flu shots with most insurance. Restrictions apply. Visit cvs.com and cvs.com/tested for details.
This is Davis Allen from Sports Call with Davis and Justin, and you're listening to Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL head coach K. Stevenson on this Tuesday afternoon. Appreciate you guys joining us here on the show. Now, for some college information. Now, obviously yesterday, Coach, a couple college quarterbacks in Miles Brennan and Mac Jones being named for LSU and Alabama. Not really a big surprise, I think, unless you were hoping, obviously, if you're Alabama, that Bryce Young, that talented five-star freshman coming in, was going to get it. I think everybody pretty much knew that Mac Jones was going to be the starter. Now, Mac Jones, Coach, a quick look. I want to take a couple quick looks at both these teams here. For Alabama, obviously, Mac Jones, when you look at Mac Jones, now he has Jalen Waddle, obviously guys like Najee Harris back there, Devonta Smith, all those guys. This is a talented team. I mean, a good offensive line. Miller Forstall comes back at tight end. They've got some depth. I think more people are interested to see that defense with Dylan Moses, Christian Harris, Josh McMillan, and those guys coming back. How's that secondary going to look? The defensive line is going to be good. LeBron Ray and DJ Dale are so good up front. We just assume that this is going to be another good Alabama squad. But once again, the defense struggled a little bit last year. It's post-Tua era. Coach, when you look at this Alabama squad and Mac Jones at quarterback, when you look at Mac Jones and the intangibles and everything he has, do you believe this is a guy that can lead a team to the national championship?
No question about it, JP. You know, I've talked about this Alabama quarterback situation before, and gosh, do they have a great quarterback room. Mac Jones can definitely lead them to a national championship. He's a heck of a quarterback. He should be the starter. He's done a great job. And, gosh, if you read what Saban has said about his preseason work and the scrimmages and so on, he couldn't be any higher. He couldn't say any more positive things about him. Remember that they have not only the young kid in there, but they also have Coach Bryant's grandson in the room, who many people feel like maybe has the best overall skill set of anybody in the room, including size, arm strength, and I won't go into all of it because it's superfluous right now. Mac Jones is a starter, and he's a good one, as well as the LSU situation. I think they're in great shape, and both should be was expected. They were expected to be named the starters, and they should have been.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's Paul Tyson, the guy you're talking about, Coach. This guy's like 6'5", 6'6", throws a football all over the yard. I want people to understand this too. Getting recruited at Alabama and signing a scholarship, that means you're pretty darn good. And that's the same thing that goes for Mac Jones. If everybody has a sour taste in their mouth because of saying he lost the Auburn game, and I get it, 2 pick sixes is not going to cut it. But this is a guy that stepped in and did a fantastic job. And this is a offense that is just locked and loaded, ready to go. I think the only question, if you want to look at it, is how's the secondary going to play? And I think they're going to play pretty good. Malachi Moore and those guys like that, Jordan Battle, Josh Jobe. I mean, they have so much talent. Once again, you talk about them like you talk about Georgia and all these other schools that have 5 stars littered all over the field. Now, Coach, LSU real quick, obviously, Miles Brennan. LSU, not as much hope here. And I think we have to be realistic. They lost so much for people to go out there and say that they're going to go undefeated. Look, anything can happen. It's 2020. It's COVID. Who knows what in the world's going to go on. But Miles Brennan, we know everything that we've read and we've heard from him, from coaches and coaching staff out there. He's the real deal. I think when you look at this team, though, they're getting some guys back that had opted out on that defense, and they're opting back in, especially on that defensive line. And they have a ton of depth. We talk about Clemson. If you're third string at Clemson, you're going to play. The same thing when you look at this LSU squad. They roll a ton of players in there. But, Coach, when you look at this LSU squad, and I guess what are your projections? I mean, is this a team we can expect to win 6 or 7 ball games? I mean, are they going to be able to give Alabama I'm saying to win the SEC West over there, but Alabama and things like that, are they going to be able to compete with them, or are they going to be a tier below?
Well, it's difficult to project right now, other than to say you've got to weigh in the positive side, the intangibles. Okay, momentum, experience, the winning breeds winning. Just won a national championship, outstanding year. The work ethic that goes along with that, they know what it takes. So putting all that together is a big plus. Now, for the minuses, losing 16 people off a football team is almost unheard of. That would be a tremendous hill to climb. And I think they've made the right choice. Obviously, the quarterback position, I don't think they're certainly not going to duplicate what Joe Burrow did, but he is a guy who's been through the system. He knows the system very well because he took all the second-team snacks last year behind Burrow. So he has practiced a lot with him, and he knows the system. He's a bright guy. So I think they're always going to have talent. They're going to have some talent that won't be as experienced, obviously, as they were last year. And I don't know what their depth is going to be losing 16 people. They obviously have enough people that they're going to have sufficient depth. But anyway, I just don't know. I don't know how to go about responding to where they might finish this year.
Yeah, I think it's it's already tough enough to do this with professional teams, much less college. So many things can happen. But offensively, Terrace Marshall's still there, a really talented receiver. Racy McMath, which, by the way, both of those guys, you're lining them up on the outside, are both 6'3", 200 plus. So, and they can fly. So they're going to be okay. The tight end position, they've got Eric Gilbert coming in, the 5-star. They love him. If you read the practice reports, he has been off the charts better than what they expected, and that's saying a lot. But remember the SEC opening up this weekend. We'll talk more about the games later on in the week, but Florida takes on Ole Miss, Kentucky at Auburn, Mississippi State at LSU, Georgia at Arkansas, and Alabama, Missouri, to name a few. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about this, as well as some high school football news, get you updated on the games that are Friday or Saturday. We'll let you know right here on Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro Shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Highway 29 in Car City.
For summer DIY projects, you know the Home Depot's always in your corner. Now with our mobile app, it can also be in the palm of your hand. With digital tools like image search, snap a picture of something. It'll recognize it and serve up product suggestions in seconds. And our product locator will check availability and lead you right to it. The Home Depot mobile app. Download it today to get started. Only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
If you plan to vote by mail, the U.S. Postal Service is here to deliver your vote safely and on time. We recommend you follow these steps to get ready. First, check your state's voting rules and deadlines. Second, request your mail-in or absentee ballot at least 15 days before Election Day. Finally, return your ballot at least 7 days before Election Day. Start today. Contact your election board and find resources at usps.com/votinginfo.
This is Northwest Florida's all sports, all the time station. From Destin to New Orleans, sports fans come here for ESPN and local sports talk. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL head coach Kay Stevenson on this Tuesday afternoon. A couple minutes left here. We appreciate you guys joining the show. Hopefully you're getting your power back, or you have your power back and, well, returning back to some normalcy, but we appreciate it nonetheless. Coach, obviously with the high school football season was supposed to start last Friday with Hurricane Sally coming through. No surprise. Those games got moved, and they were going to happen Monday, but to be safe, they went ahead and bumped them back to Friday. Now it seems Escambia County is going to go back to Saturday. Now, give you an update. Escambia will host West Florida at 2 p.m. Saturday. Pensacola Catholic will host Pine Forest at 7 p.m., And Washington, Booker T. Washington will host Tate at 1 p.m. Now, we don't know what the Northview Chiefs in the North End of County are going to do. They have not declared a start time against Holmes County, but it seems it's going to be on Saturday, as Escambia County is. But Santa Rosa County games, Milton at Gulf Breeze and Navarre at Pace, are still right now scheduled for Friday. So, Coach, it's good news. We're getting some high school football back. It's taken a while. We didn't know if we were going to get there with COVID. Then Hurricane Sally came through. But nonetheless, it's something I think is very, very important for our area, and we got a lot of teams that are ready to hit the gridiron.
You bet. I'm glad to see that. And also, I want to mention here quickly before we have to go off that what you get on the contest, I think you really enjoy. We've got the shooting range, indoor shooting range out on North 29, just about Car City. And then we have a $20 gift certificate to Hot Shot Barbecue down on 9th Avenue and Marua Street. And, boy, the cook outside, you can smell the barbecue blocks before you get there. Great barbecue. You'll enjoy it. So we look forward to having a good turnout as far as people getting some picks. We've had good results so far, and look forward to increasing that each week.
Absolutely. And remember, I know we got a few seconds here, obviously, before we go, but I will be putting those picks up this afternoon on our ESPN Pensacola Facebook page. So go on there, follow the rules, text it to 850-623-1330, and boom, that's all you got to do. It takes you maybe a minute at the most. And I'm going to tell you, for me, don't overthink it. Just pick who you think. And that's, hey, you got a chance to win some pretty good prizes. But, Coach, that sound means it's time for us to go. As usual, didn't get to everything, but you know what? We'll do it all again tomorrow.
You bet. Look forward to it, JP.
Absolutely. Take care, Coach. We appreciate our listeners out there. We'll be back same time tomorrow talking some football with you right here on Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola.
Home for hometown sports. Your home to talk football with Coach K. Sports Drive with Chad Brillante and Sports Call with Davis Allen. If you'd like to partner with ESPN Pensacola or become a sponsor, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
The Max Kellerman Show. On ESPN Radio.
The Max Kellerman Show on ESPN Radio, ESPN News, the ESPN app, and SiriusXM Channel 80, and on your smart speaker. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. The Max Kellerman Show is presented by Progressive Insurance. All guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. But first, it's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. And that's all the time we have for today, folks. By the time I'm done reading all this stuff, Raj, the show is half over. All right, here we go. We got a lot to get into, starting with... Yes, Raj.
Oh, never mind. I hit the doorbell by accident.
Oh, that's good. I really need, I know like we're in a pandemic and everything. I need my own control so I can click on and click off the callers. I need my own soundboard. Where is all that? I need all those things. I want full control. Raiders, what a way to baptize the Death Star, huh? That's a big win. And by the way, I know the Saints have not looked great so far this year, but they beat Tom Brady and the Bucs. They do have. It's not like they were an 0-1 team coming in, but they're 1-1 now. And by the way, what's been lost, because Derek Carr performed very well. John Gruden was glowing about Carr after the game. But what's been lost in the coverage the next day and the afterglow of the Raiders to winning, because people want the Raiders to be good. They want the bad guys to be good. And the Raiders in Vegas, I mean, come on, it's perfect. And in L.A., by the way, L.A., it's the Lakers.